Hi, my name is Jennifer Marx, Chief Artistic Officer at Form4 Architecture in San Francisco. And I've got two projects this year at WAF. One is Creative Community Number 1, which is in future master planning. And the second one is Triptych at future office. So Creative Community Number 1 is based on the idea of studying the future of urban design and community participation. And the normative way to do community design is live, work, and play. And we add into that learn and create. And what we've discovered is that creativity and self-expression is a way to create a very strong community bond between different groups of people. And so that aspect of creativity is uniquely empowering to create that kind of vibrancy that we so look for in modern communities, but oftentimes goes missing. So the second project I had at WAF today was called Triptych, which is a small urban infill project in Palo Alto, California. Triptych is based on the idea of 3 different vertical bay windows that come out with columns that create kind of a vibrancy and an excitement, and they look like treetops. And so that produces 3 pavilions on a very sort of lush and verdant roof deck, and that becomes an aspirational place. So in an urban setting, the idea is that's the place you want to be. You want to know what it would be like to be up there. And it has a bit of a hospitality feel. I think both of the projects were nominated because they take an unusual take on the subjects that they were in. So in the case of Creative Community, we were looking at a utopian notion, and the beauty of future projects is sometimes you can be a little more experimental. And so we were looking at pushing the envelope of what ideas might form community design, and then in a sense, bringing it to WAF in order to advocate for the idea that we can do things differently and perhaps better. So in some ways, it's about the sharing of ideas with our fellow architects that are here and designers, and then just an exchange of ideas, rather than only looking at winning the prize. At my firm in San Francisco, we started out 27 years ago doing a lot of Silicon Valley high-tech campuses, and then we started to think about how we might contribute to the profession in greater ways. So we started writing, we started advocating for different things, we started looking at the practice of architecture broadly to see how we could do better, and then to share that with other people. That led to a number of publications. We've done 2 publications, advocacy monographs with the Architectural Review. First one was called The Absurdity of Beauty, and then the second one was called Towards Abundance, which was about gender in architecture. And then from that, we have a recent book that's called Second Century Modernism. I started going to WAF in 2014 in Singapore. So I've made quite a few presentations, and in addition, I've been a judge 4 times. It's always a little hard to know what works and doesn't work when you're the presenter, but from a judge's standpoint, it's fascinating to see how every jury is a little bit different. Sometimes it's been very hard to pick the winner, and sometimes it was obvious, like everybody agreed on what it was. But without going into all of that detail, what I would say is the most important thing when you're presenting yourself is to relax, to show your passion for the project, show your commitment to the project, and just present what you think is really important about it. So keep it pure to what you believe is important about the project, and that will shine through. WAF is about engagement with your fellow architects, engagement with the broader community, and getting your ideas out there in general. And so even if you don't win, the fact that you're here presenting, the fact that you're contributing is vitally important. And I would focus in some ways more on that than necessarily winning the prize.